We'll let her have a round at questions and comments.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And to my honourable colleague and friend from Haliburton, Kawartha Lakes Brock, let me add my congratulations for your recent ascension within your party ranks. I will pick up on something the member from Carleton said, which you referenced his speech in yours. And he was using statistics from deficit to GDP ratio. It's certainly much more common to use statistics, as I'm sure you'll agree, of debt to GDP ratio, deficits being more temporary, and as the Parliamentary Budget Office has reported, when you look at World War II figures, you know the economy recovered quite quickly. Let's look at debt to GDP ratio. We went into this pandemic at about 30% debt to GDP ratio, much better than any other country in the G7. They predict we'll be by about 38% by the end of this. But in 1995, we had 66% debt to GDP ratio. So I don't want to scare Canadians into a kind of a sticker shock, thinking that our kids are going to pay for this. That's not true. And I think, Mr. Speaker, we need to actually look at the world. All the major economies in the world, all their central banks have been doing the same thing. So I'm going to stop there and ask my honourable colleague for a comment whether we can't reference history more precisely so as not to alarm people.
Member for Haliburton, Kawartha Lakes Brock.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and nice to see my friend from Saanich Gulf Islands. I think a couple of things I would say to her is the current government has no plan to bring the books to balance. They have spending in perpetuity. It's going to go on forever, and this is what happened when you continue to print money, as the Bank of Canada has done in many cases. And if you continue to rack up debt, you're going to debauch the currency or the economy, probably both at the same time. And when investors lose confidence and stop buying our debt, of course, inflation starts to rise, the Canadian dollar drops, the Bank of Canada is then forced probably to increase interest rates, and the access to credit shrinks. So that is why Conservatives talk about balancing the budget, reining in spending, controlling the cost of bureaucracy, and allowing services to be given to the people at a reasonable cost at the most effective measure. And the most effective measure is allowing people more choice in their lives with more money in their pockets, and not the funneling of their money to government, allowing it to go around the cotton candy machine, going to the province, to municipalities, and to the end user, which is the taxpayer.
Prise de débat.